Okay, today we're going to be reviewing what we've already learned about syllables and vowel sounds. For teacher reference, this is for grade 1 reading and language arts. It covers several of the Common Core standards, which include grammar usage, mechanics, oral language, and visual literacy. For the first activity, we're going to talk about syllables. Syllables make up different parts of a word, and every syllable in a word contains only one vowel sound. So what are the vowels that we've already learned about? At this point, I would have a student come up and write in our vowels, which are A, E, I, O, and U. Next, we're going to break up these words into groups depending on how many syllables they have. So eraser has eraser, 3 syllables. So we would click it and move it over to 3 syllables. How about bus? Bus has 1 syllable. So we would move it to the 1 syllable category. Toothbrush. Toothbrush has 2 syllables, so we would move it into 2. Dog has 1. Strawberry has 3 syllables because it has 3 vowel sounds. Cow has 1 syllable. Cow has 1 syllable. Wagon is 2 syllables. Basket is 2 syllables, and iguana is 3 syllables. Next, we're going to correct the sentences with correct punctuation and capitalization. The first sentence we have says, "We went to New York City for Christmas break." First of all, is there anything in this sentence that we need to capitalize? Yes, we need to capitalize the N in New York City, the Y in New York City, and the C in New York City, because it's all a proper noun and we capitalize our proper nouns. We also need to capitalize the C in Christmas for Christmas break. Do we have anything else to capitalize in that sentence? No, so let's move on to punctuation. We went to New York City for Christmas break. It's a declarative sentence, so it will end in a period. Let's move on to the next one. When are you going to make dinner? Is there anything to capitalize in this sentence? No. So what's our next step? Punctuation. When are you going to make dinner is a question, so it would not end in a period, it would end in a question mark. Number 3. I am so excited we get to see Uncle John today. Is there anything to capitalize? Yes, we would capitalize the J in John because John is a proper noun because it's Uncle John's name. Now let's look at the punctuation. There's a period at the end of this sentence, and it could work, but we're really excited to see Uncle John. And since we're so excited to see him, we would add an exclamation point. Number 4, my teacher says I need to practice my grammar. There's not anything to capitalize in this sentence, but let's look at the punctuation. It has a question mark here. Is this a question? My teacher says I need to practice my grammar. No, I don't think so. We would add a period to the end of this sentence because it's a statement. The last one. I love Italian food and have always wanted to go to Italy. To capitalize in this sentence, we would capitalize the I in Italian food. And now we'll have to look at our punctuation. It has a period here. Do we think this is right? Yes. Now let's look at our contractions. We have I am, which becomes I'm. We have cannot, which becomes can't, will not becomes won't, I will becomes I'll, they are becomes their, you are becomes your, and would not becomes wouldn't. Now let's talk about our plural words. These are our irregular plural words that we learned about last week. So instead of just adding s or es to these, they become something completely different. Ox would become oxen. Goose becomes geese. Moose becomes moose. Mouse is mice. Tooth is teeth. And that becomes those. For our last exercise in this lesson, we're going to talk about sequence of sentences. So on this page we have a lot of sentences. The inside of the tent was a mess. A fox peeked out the sleeping bag. The fox ran out of the tent. Uncle Ted pulled Max out of the tent. Max saw that the tent flap was open. Uncle Ted asked Max to get his jacket. Now these don't really make a story as they are, so we need to change them to put them in the correct order. So let's start with Uncle Ted asked Max to get his jacket. What do we think comes next? Maybe Max saw that the tent flap was open? Let's see, what would happen after that? The inside of the tent was a mess. That seems right. What happens next? A fox peeked out of the sleeping bag? Probably. But these last two don't seem to be in order, do they? The fox ran out of the tent and then Uncle Ted pulled Max out of the tent? Let's switch those to make this right. Now let's check our answer. We got it all correct. And that is the end of my SmartBoard lesson for today.